Hey, you! What are you looking at? How dare you look at me like that? Did I say anything wrong? You stole it!
Mr. Lowe, please. You have no evidence. Yet how can you be so sure? I swear I didn't steal it. Why on earth would I steal someone else's wallet?
There was no one in our class that would steal someone else's wallet. You see, everyone has their parents securely at home. Plus, they are all doing well financially. Why on earth would they be stealing someone else's wallet? Don't you see? There is no one else that would have stolen the wallet but you.
Mr. Lowe, so you're blaming me for stealing simply because I don't come from a wealthy family?
Not from a wealthy family. That's a bit light for what it really is, isn't it? You're not just not wealthy. Your dad died in an accident and your mom left you. Threw you away for you to live with your ill grandmother. You wouldn't survive without the benefits from taxpayer money. We don't call that not wealthy. We refer to it as downright beggars.
Mr. Lowe, how could you say that?
You know what we call people like you that live off food stamps? Parasites. You beneficiaries steal the regular citizens' tax money, leeching off others. Isn't that the perfect name for you? A parasite.
I said I didn't do it. Moreover, I didn't choose to be born into a poor family. It's not my fault.
Not at all, actually. The fact you were born into such an unfortunate life is because you must have sinned heavily in your past life. There must be something horribly wrong with the life you lived in your past life. It's understood in many religions if you're not aware. And now in this new life, you leech off others' tax money and steal from other innocent people.
Please, Mr. Lowe, trust me, I didn't do it. I beg you, please believe me.
Then give me proof that you didn't steal it.
The wallet's not with me. You even searched through my bag. It was empty. Isn't that enough evidence?
How would I know if you didn't hide it somewhere after you stole it? Who knows where you put it? Actually, the fact your bag is so empty is enough proof for me to believe that you were hungry enough to steal. Well, if you are really desperate, why don't you find a friend to testify you didn't do it? If you can't give me proof like this, there is no way I am going to take your word for it.
Are you hearing yourself? That's a ridiculous way to prove someone's innocence.
See? You can't give me any solid evidence. Don't expect to get home before you bring back that wallet.
One's teenage years are meant to be the brightest period of their life. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case for me. It was actually filled with darkness and misery. After I finished elementary school and started middle school, my life was doomed as I was persistently targeted by one person. For years. Was it a classmate? No. Maybe that would have been better. It was actually my homeroom teacher. He tormented me endlessly. He used to hold prejudice against students based on their family's wealth and reputation and hated me for my poor upbringing. My days were filled with darkness and hatred. Every day he would belittle and curse me for coming from little money, and sometimes even abused me physically. I had heard he had a child my age, but that didn't seem to matter to him. He was a horrid man regardless. Even my classmates who once teased me for my old clothes began to pity me and left me alone. I thought I had to endure it just until the end of my 6th grade to escape Mr. Lowe. I was sure it will all end. But unfortunately, things didn't go quite as planned. In fact, it took multiple turns to throw me into a deeper pit.
Well, look at you. Looks like someone had an easy year.
Mr. Lowe? Are you my home teacher? There's no way!
Well, yes. Out of nowhere, I've been requested to take over grade 8. What a hassle. I was pretty comfortable with grade 6. Moreover, I can't believe I need to be your teacher again. I don't want to be a teacher for a criminal.
Mr. Lowe, I can't believe you are still calling me a criminal. It was concluded it was never my fault. It was just Stacy that had lost her wallet.
See, I am still not sure if Stacy really lost it, or if you had stolen it. I'm throwing it away so you don't get caught. Remember, I am your teacher this year, alright? If you want a good reference this year, you better shut your mouth and behave. You know there are colleges that take references from middle school too, so criminals like you don't get away with their past wrongdoings. Behave and watch out, parasite. Always remember that I am above you.
Please don't call me that, Mr. Lowe. A teacher cannot possibly call their students names like that.
How dare you assess me? I was planning on keeping my hands clean this year, but too bad. I will need to get my bat out. Parasites like you need to be beaten to get some sense in. How else will you learn to respect your elders?
Please no, Mr. Lowe. Violence is not the answer.
Kids like you should be grateful middle school is mandatory in our state. Otherwise, you would have been a beggar on the street straight after elementary school. Who knows where you would be today? Bless our country.
Hey, baby. What has gotten into you? You haven't eaten or slept properly in days. Why are you studying so hard all of a sudden? You might faint if you don't eat or get some rest. Please have something to eat. Nana, it's fine. I'm okay. Please go and head to bed before me. No, I see you're studying hard and all, but you need to have some dinner at least. There is no time to waste, Nan. I can't afford to lose my time. Please just leave me alone. Yes, I know, but you will hurt your health living like this. Please take a break and eat something. Nan, I am telling you, I am studying right now. I have no time to waste. Why won't you listen to me? You're not even eating or sleeping. How would I not worry about you? I am afraid you will ruin your health. But what choice do I have? This is my only way to live. The other kids at school are going to extracurricular classes and studying with their tutors. How on earth would I catch up to them? I don't have any other resources or anywhere else to learn from, so I need to study myself. I don't have a choice but to pour all my time into this if I don't want to fall behind. I need to use every hour, even when others are sleeping or eating or resting. I can't afford to lose a minute. Otherwise, I won't be able to go to any decent college. I need to do this, Nan. Please. Honey. Did I ask for money? Did I ask you to hire me a tutor? Did I ask you for anything at all? Please just leave me alone. People like me can't afford to eat. Please just head to sleep, okay? Let me be. From years of torment from Mr. Lowe, I began to grow an inner grit. I would be lying if I said that I never thought about ending my own life. But the grit pulled me out of the pit whenever I fell and pushed me to live and try harder. I needed to prove him wrong. So I reduced my hours for sleep and food and dedicated it all to my studies. I had many nights of nosebleeds and even had some fainting episodes as a result. I also did have a nosebleed during class once, but Mr. Lowe didn't even spare a glance my way. He instead shook his head at me like I was dirty. To be frank, I felt terrible for yelling at my Nana. I was overly sensitive at the time and constantly yelled at her for simply caring about me. After a challenging year, I eventually made it into a boarding school that I had set as my goal. I had gained a scholarship for the school, and I had intentionally applied to one that was far from my hometown, as I wanted to start on a fresh slate. I wanted to restart where nobody knew me or my background. However, though it was a completely new town, my defeated shoulders were still with me. So I continued to live cautiously. I spent the first moments at the school as a voluntary outsider, to keep away from others. Hey, what are you up to? I'm just studying. What's up? Isn't this due next week? Why are you already rushing to finish this now? We have enough time this weekend to finish it off, don't we? Oh, I have other studies to do on the weekend. I don't think I will have enough time. You're studying on the weekends too? Why are you studying so hard? I've only ever seen you study at your desk ever since we started here. That's no fun. There's so much to do here, especially with all the events they have for us freshmen. You need to learn to have some fun, too. I don't know much about having fun. I only ever studied when I was growing up. Moreover, I am new to this town. I don't know much about this place. Sweetie, no way. Then are you saying you haven't been to the chili dog place across the block? You can't miss out on that. It's scrumptious. Chili dogs? I don't think I've ever had a chili dog before. They don't have a food stamp for that. I can't believe you have never tried it. It's amazing. Okay, well, today I am going to take you out and make sure you try the chili dog. Let's go. I gotta show you. Oh, Rachel, I really don't know if I want to. I don't have any money to go out. Amy, please. It'll be my treat to celebrate your new life in town. You are coming, right? Come on, get dressed. The night is young. You can worry about that homework later.
Hey, Amy. How are you doing? How's the school treating you? Are you settling in okay? I understand it must take some time to adjust as you're so new to town. I doubt you know anyone around here. Have you been able to get around all right?
Yes, I am doing fine. Thank you, Miss Adams. I am settling in okay.
That's good to hear. Good for you, Amy. Well, I called you up today to have a quick catch-up. We do this every new term, you know, as a formality. We call it a mentoring session, where I just check in on how you're doing and if you have any questions or troubles. Nothing serious. It's a safe space. So please don't feel uncomfortable that I called you in alone to my office.
Thank you. I don't feel uncomfortable about it at all, actually. Middle school was full of teachers that couldn't care less about me. So there was never anything like a mentoring session, let alone a quick catch-up with any of the teachers.
Well, so I hear you got accepted through the scholarship program. And my understanding is you just have your grandmother at home. Am I right?
Yes, that's correct. No way. Is she going to start harassing me for it too? I mean, I guess people naturally tend to pick on people like me. But I would hate for the nightmares of middle school to play out again here.
Actually, I wanted to let you know I got approval for another support program that would suit you well. You qualify for all their requirements and think your application would have a high chance of winning.
Really? That sounds amazing, thank you. But how would it benefit me?
With this support program, you will be able to attain all your scholarship rights, even if your grades slip from time to time. And with the program under your name, it will place you first in line for any additional financial support that may come up. All the other teachers were putting their hands up for an application spot this morning at the board meeting. But I thought it would be perfect for you, Amy. So really fought my way to win a spot for you.
Really? Thank you. I am so grateful. But are you sure it would be okay for me to take the spot for application?
Of course! I thought it would be perfect for you. I am telling you, that's why I fought for the spot.
But I already receive our welfare payout. Is that still okay?
Yes, it has nothing to do with your welfare payout. Scholarships and financial assistance for students are completely separate from that. It's simply to assist you in your daily expenses, so you don't get interrupted on your studies.
Isn't all that from tax money? If I am receiving more than one stream of support, wouldn't that be a waste of taxpayer money?
In what universe would that be a waste? All the money that is used to financially support students is never a waste. Actually, that's the reason why we pay taxes, so we can support students like you who excel at their studies. So don't you worry about that. The system's been set up to help you. That's why I'm suggesting this to you. So if you are willing to go forward with the application, let me know. I can take care of the application process.
If I could get this assistance, I wouldn't need to continue with my part-time work for my daily expenses. Yes, please, Miss Adams. I would like to apply for this assistance program. I was planning on taking on some additional part-time work for my daily expenses. I didn't expect to have so many things to pay for at boarding school.
Great. Yes, don't worry about picking up any extra work. I can push forward with the application for you. The results will be out in no time. I'll keep you updated, Amy.
I had expected everyone I meet at a school would be just like horrible Mr. Lowe. But Rachel, Miss Adams, and many others at the school proved me wrong. It was especially Miss Adams who restored my faith in humanity, and I learned a loving relationship can be formed between teachers and students. She never looked down on me, though she knew everything about my family background and financial situation. In fact, she tried harder to look for programs and assistance that I would qualify for out of the kindness of her heart, making sure I didn't have to worry about my finances while pursuing my studies. The fact that it was not out of pity, but purely for the benefit of my studies, moved me. It was incredibly refreshing to have someone like a teacher genuinely care for me and my future. Moreover, the friends I made at the boarding school never took pity on me. In fact, my background didn't seem to influence the way they treat me at all. I was an equal and accepted. Learning about the kind hearts that I had previously never encountered, I began to open up to others and welcomed people into my life. I began to be more comfortable in my own skin. The comfort brought ease to my mind, and I was able to better focus on my studies. I collected all the resources available and studied my way through high school. Eventually, I was accepted into a prestigious law school in California. It was the fruit to my long years of dedication. It was sweet and rewarding.
Our dear Amy, you really made it into law school. I am so proud of you. I am actually over the moon. Well done.
I know, right? But of course, Miss Adams, all she did was study. It's a rifle result. My friend, the law gal. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, everyone, really. I wouldn't have been able to step near law school if it wasn't for you guys. Especially you, Miss Adams. I couldn't have done it without you. Don't mention it. I only did what I needed to do as your teacher. I can't take any credit. There is no way I would have made it if it wasn't for you with all the resources and tips you gave me, Miss Adams. You were the reason I could really focus on my studies. And you too, Rachel. My years in high school were incredibly enjoyable, thanks to you. You were always there for me. I was never left to be lonely. Thanks for leaving me with only sweet memories, Rachel.
Geez, what are you talking about? That's nothing you need to thank me for. I was just your friend because you are a great friend.
You and also your mom, Rachel. You have both been so sweet to me. She always made sure I was fed well and made sure my fridge was never empty. She taught me tips on housework, the type of stuff I should have learned from my own mother. She filled the gaps that I had missed out on.
That's true. My mom does adore you. She was elated to hear you had made it into law school. Make sure you stop by our place between the break, okay? We need to have a massive party for you.
Of course. That sounds fantastic. I would love that. I'll make sure to bring her a gift too, as a big thank you for all her love through the years. You know what? You kids are in for a treat today. Let me order you guys some pizza. As a celebration for Amy's law school acceptance, and also as a thank you for all your hard work.
Miss Adams, you're the best! But my goodness, you must know our appetite. We are going to need a lot of pizzas.
Sure thing. I will order enough for all of you to crawl home today. Considering the efforts Amy put in for the past 3 years, this is petty cash. You deserve all the celebration you can get, Amy. It is an amazing achievement. You lot, make sure to say a big thank you to Amy. She really took this one for the team. We will have a lawyer to our name. Party time!
Woohoo! Thanks, Amy. We get to enjoy a free pizza party thanks to all your hard work.
Our sweet Amy, you are getting more and more beautiful each day. You barely wear any makeup or wear any fancy clothes, yet you give off such a beautiful aura. Look at you, now a lawyer. And I hear you are now working for the big names. I have been taking good care of myself now that I am getting older. No beauty secrets here. But look who's talking! Rose, you have gotten even more elegant than when I last saw you. People will mistake you to be in your 40s. You are so cheesy. Years ago, you were so introverted. Now you know how to be cheeky with your compliments. You know, I used to be worried about you when you were younger. Was afraid that you would grow up to be shy and timid. There was nothing to worry about. You are doing so wonderfully well, Amy. You are now a social butterfly. Of course. I need to be able to schmooze now that I'm working corporate. I know how to present myself to be likable. Dear, of course. You are so good with your words. What are you doing? Not dating? Now that you are in your 20s, it's time for you to meet other men and enter the dating scene. Oh, Rose, you know I am not interested in dating. It never amused me. I've already talked to Nana about it too, that I don't intend to meet or get into a relationship with anyone. Yeah, she did mention this to me too. But you see, it's essential in life to meet a partner, eventually. It can only benefit you for the better. Rose, please. I didn't want to interfere with your personal life, but you are at an age now where you need to think about these things seriously. I still can't believe you have never went out on a single date. Rose, you must know what I had to go through as a child. How on earth would I want to be in a relationship and get married? After all the things I had to witness between my own mom and dad. Yes, I understand. But your Nana is concerned, though I know she never talks to you about it. She's worried that you will be left all alone when she passes one day. It really pains her. And I can't watch her be all worrisome like that. I know she pretends to be all cool and young and forward-thinking, but you can't fake your beliefs. She is an old lady like I am. Of course she feels worried to leave you all alone in the world, with no man to protect you. But Rose… That's enough from you. You need to listen to me, for your Nana. So please, there is a man that I have been eyeing for you. As a fun date, you don't need to take it seriously. Just see him once and see how you feel. Dress up, go out, get treated to a good dinner. Nothing serious. And if you like each other, you can see him again. Really, sweetie, no pressure. It'll be fun. Even after I started full-time work as a lawyer, I had no interest in plunging myself into the dating scene. To be honest, it was the direct consequence of my childhood, having witnessed my mother throwing her family away and leaving me alone with my Nana. The only marriage I had seen in life had been my mom's, and knowing the pain and struggles that come with it. I didn't desire to be in a relationship at all. However, with Rose persistently asking me to start dating and offering to set me up with a good person, I began to think maybe it would be worth giving it a try. She constantly told me that she considered me her own granddaughter and would want nothing but the best for me. Knowing it only came from a kind heart, I could not decline her offer so bluntly. And she was right in saying that if I went on the date with a light heart, there was no pressure of having to pursue anything. After all, Rose had been with my Nana and looking after her through her rough days when I wasn't home during boarding school and law school. She had always been so good to us, so I decided to cave into her offer. It would be just a light-hearted dinner, I told myself. I had heard you were a teacher at an elementary school. To be honest, you are so much more reserved and soft-spoken than I had expected. Frankly, I had expected elementary school teachers to be quite different from you. Oh, I do get that often, actually. When you think of elementary school teachers, you assume that they would need to have a thunderous voice to control the kids, yelling and instructing to get some order in the chaos. It does have a high-energy image associated with it. And yes, I get it, as children can be chaotic like that. It's a fair assumption. Yes, I think you're right. I guess I expected a stereotypical teen drama type of teacher. Or actually, I have seen the complete opposite too, where elementary school teachers adopt very childish mannerisms and a way to talking. I guess to fit in with the children and present themselves more likable to the kids. Well, I'm not the type to raise my voice to my students, actually. There is no way I would act so macho with them. They are incredibly cute. I can't bring myself to yell at them. They are too adorable. That's an amazing thing to hear. Dealing with children is tough, even for their own parents. They are lucky to have you.
Oh, it's no big deal, really. Children know when to listen as long as you talk to them softly but with logic. You just need to know to never give up on them.
He has such a kind demeanor with a caring voice. I don't see any red flags here. He seems like a nice person.
I know we have only been seeing each other for a few months, but I know it in my heart that we were meant to be. Thanks for accepting my proposal, Amy.
I think the same, Dave. Thank you. Most of all, I am confident that we would be able to raise a child well together. You are a great teacher, so I know I will have a lot to learn from you. You must know everything about childhood education and how to provide for a child. I am certain that you would be a great father.
Of course. You can leave that with me.
Do you think you'd want a boy or a girl? I hear guys tend to fantasize having a mini-me boy. Is that the same for you?
Actually, I think I would love a girl. A mini version of you. Wouldn't she be adorable? You know, when I am teaching at school, I find it easier to get to know the girls better, since they all tend to be so chatty. They are remarkably cute, you know? I can't wait to see a mini version of you.
Really? I hear girls tend to distance themselves from their dads when they hit puberty, though.
No way. I will be good to her so she never hits that phase. There won't be any reason for her to distance herself from me. I know I would be a great dad. I can feel it in my heart.
The man Rose set me up with exceeded my expectations. He was kind, caring, friendly, and also had a great sense of humor. There wasn't a single red flag in sight. I could understand why Rose was so insistent on me seeing him. He really was the full package. I was really grateful for Rose for being so persistent with me. Compared to me, with a tough and struggling childhood backstory, he was raised in a well-off family of teachers and loving parents who raised their boy well. He was a soft, kind man that reflected his upbringing. Because it was so evident that he was a good man and a good fit for me, I naturally began to think about marriage. Fortunately, Dave felt the same way, so we quickly began to discuss our future plans. A few months into the relationship, I had introduced Dave to my Nana. Next, it was time for me to meet his family, and we were invited to his family home for dinner.
Dad, we're here.
Welcome. Hope the ride here was good. How are you two?
Hi, I am good, thank you. It is a pleasure to finally meet you.
It's a pleasure to have you. Come on in.
Huh? That's a familiar voice.
A lawyer daughter-in-law in our family. We are a family of teachers, so it's new to have someone like you here. Thanks to you, Amy, we can finally call our family elite. You definitely need a lawyer to complete the picture.
His voice and his mannerisms. And his face! My goodness, this is my middle school teacher, Mr. Lowe! Yes, Dave did mention that his father was a teacher too. I can't believe this. I'm sorry, I might have missed it. But could I know your name? How should I address you?
Yes, my name is Richard Lowe. The students call me Mr. Lowe, but you can just call me Rich.
I knew it. How did I not make the connection? I think I'm going to throw up. I apologize, but I think I need to leave. Now.
Amy, what are you saying?
Babe, what's wrong? What do you mean you need to leave?
Hello?
What was that about, Amy? You can't just leave like that. Where on earth are you now?
I'm sorry, babe. I am just not myself at the moment. It's probably best I don't tell Dave about this, right? He has been so proud that his father is a respectable teacher. I can't throw him such a shocker. I don't want him to be hurt.
You won't believe how mad Dad is right now. That was so irresponsible of you. I told him that you have been feeling unwell because of a difficult case you were working on lately. I know it's a lie, but I had to say something. So I've put out the immediate fire now. But what are you going to do next when you see him?
Aren't you worried about me at all? You know that was very out of character for me. Don't you think I might have been upset by something?
Upset by what? You were the one who wanted to meet my parents today. Since you initiated the date, shouldn't you have looked after yourself so you're not in such a terrible condition today? Or at least resolve it alone from your end.
Are you being serious right now? Do you think I stormed out like that simply because I couldn't maintain myself?
Then what? What made you rush out like that?
Never mind. Can you give me some time to think this through? I want to mull over some thoughts on my own. In this state of mind, I am not even sure if I want to continue with our wedding, Dave.
Are you kidding, Amy? You want to call off the wedding? How could you say that so lightly?
What is there to call off? We barely started any preparation. It's all just been verbal until now. So please, can you give me some time to be alone? I really think we need to take a break to seriously think about our future, Dave. I am serious about this. So please, leave me alone. I'll call you back when I am ready. Bye, Dave.
Amy, babe, no, please.
I was confused. Had I been dreaming? Why on earth was my single most horrible memory sitting in that house? In the house that was meant to be filled with love and laughter that raised the love of my life. My trauma from middle school still haunted me from time to time, and at times I would feel like I was being suffocated. My hands began to tremble, and I was sweating profusely. I couldn't stand to be in the same space as him yet again, so I had to storm out and ask Dave to give me some time alone to think about the situation. I needed a break. But he ignored my request and soon initiated another dinner with his father, my nightmare, Mr. Lowe.
So, I hear you were unwell that day you paid a visit to our house.
Yes, I was unwell. How could Dave ignore me asking to give me more time? I am not ready to face or talk to him yet. Oh, Dave, I wish you would have listened to me.
Dad, Amy wanted to apologize for storming out the other day, so initiated tonight's dinner. She made the reservation for this restaurant. The chef here is apparently a celebrity chef on television. So please, enjoy and let us treat you.
All right, I hear you. Thanks for this. I am sure I will enjoy the meal here. I understand you are not yourself when you are unwell. There is not much you can do about it, and you simply need to rest when you are in a rut.
Thank you for your understanding, Richard.
Plus, I heard your ill grandmother raised you. It's understandable that you don't have basic social etiquette. It's something your mother was meant to teach you.
Oh, I see.
I bet your grandmother spoiled you and never taught you proper manners as they tend to do. It's hard for grandparents to discipline a child, I know. Even when you are unwell, you should know your manners to properly excuse yourself. But it's okay now, Amy. I can teach you all that. Now you will finally have a parent to teach you your manners. It's never too late to learn, they say.
I wondered if he would have improved his own manners over the years. But needless to say, he hasn't changed. I can't believe he still says such things out loud. What an unimaginable human being.
Actually, you remind me of a student I once taught. She was in my class for 2 years during middle school. She was in the same boat as you, Amy. Had a similar upbringing.
Oh, the problem child you told me about before, right, Dad?
A problem child?
Yes, that's the one. I think I taught her about 15 years ago, for grades 6 and 8. I unfortunately had her twice in my homeroom class. Oh, what trouble she caused. A total nuisance of a child. She was always stealing from others and causing problems wherever she went.
My goodness. They're talking about me.
Yeah, you said she was a total rebel. What chaos she must have been to teach.
Exactly. Every day I was chasing after her troubles. She was a total mess. I had to get physical with her more than once just to get some sense of manners into her. That kind of rotten apple is bad for other students. I bet she dropped out of school as soon as she could. I bet you, Amy, were a studious child in school, never causing any trouble, Am I right? See, it's less about the upbringing, but more about the individual. You can live completely different lives if you are willing to behave. More about the nature, not the nurture. I'm telling you, that girl is probably a criminal somewhere, struggling to feed herself. Her ill grandmother used to call me every day, asking me to be good to her little girl. What an absolute waste of my time, right? It was downright annoying answering her calls. That's why stupid kids that come from stupid poor families.
Excuse me? What did you just say?
Hey, what's wrong?
Unbelievable. You say you have beaten sense into me and got me into high school? Do you remember what you said to me when I told you that I was going to apply to boarding school? That parasites like me must not dare to make it in life? You yelled at me, "What makes you think you deserve this?" And that I will forever be a parasite that leeches off scholarships and tax money to barely struggle through life. How dare you wrap up your horrid past as if you were a helpful educator? You are nothing but pure hell to me.
What? No way. You can't be.
Yes, I am. I am the Amy you shamefully harassed all through middle school as a teacher. The Amy from 15 years ago. The one you traumatized for life. You dragged me into the pits of hell by calling me a parasite, a leech, a problem child. Every single day of my years in middle school. You made my life a living hell. How could you have the confidence to talk about me in such a way, when what you have done in the past is truly criminal? Plus, to even have the guts to say my Nana was annoying for begging you to be nice? The only thing I got out of middle school was the grit I developed as a result of you eating away at my self-esteem. You taught me absolutely nothing.
Babe, what on earth are you on about? You need to calm down first. You're not yourself.
You want me to calm down? You just heard everything I had to say, yet you dare tell me to calm down. I am the trouble kid your dad's been talking about from 15 years ago. Is it not adding up for you? Do you need me to connect all the dots for you to understand what's going on? Your father is the living hell I had to endure all throughout middle school. He suffocated me and left me with perpetual trauma that I have to live with for the rest of my life. I can't believe he is the man you were so proud of. His label may be a teacher, but he does not have the right to teach anyone, ever. This is insane. I can't believe this is real. What a disgrace to be associated with you once again.
What? A disgrace? How dare you, you son of a…
Of course! This is the Richard Lowe I am used to. It's good to finally see you again as your true self, sir. What a facade you wear. How embarrassing. Well, okay, let's just end it here. I refuse to be in the middle of this. I have no plans on becoming family with a man that made my life miserable. In fact, I simply decline to be associated with such a horrible person. I do not ever want to see your face again, nor do I want to hear anything about you. There isn't anything to consider. I don't think we even need to take a break to think through this. This is it, Dave. It's over.
What? This is it? You can't be serious. We can't just break up like this.
Why? What's the issue? It's not like we have booked anything yet for the wedding. Not a dime's been spent. You didn't even give me a proper engagement ring. How cleaner of a break can it be? It's good, isn't it? We have barely exchanged anything. In fact, to make things clearer, let me get this dinner tonight. I fear you will try getting back in contact with me to deal with this check if I let you pay for it. So please, let me do the honors and get the bill here. All right? They were telling me someone's been causing an absolute ruckus out here at the lobby. And oh, I should have known it was you, sir. What brings you here?
How dare you talk to me like that? You realize I am much older than you. How can you be so rude to your elders?
Yes, you may be elderly, but you no longer have anything to do with me. I have no reason to respect you and have nothing more to say to you. What's your point? Why are you here? You should be grateful that I am even standing here, conversing with you. So make it brief. I am busy.
How could you live as if you don't care? Don't you know what you have done to Dave? You have totally messed up his life. You can't possibly live comfortably knowing you ruined him.
I mean, yes, he is a total mess for sure. So why should I care? He has been stalking and lingering around me these days, actually. I can't believe he has plunged so low. Has he got nothing better to do?
You did not need to tell him everything like that. The last time you saw him, he's been treating me like a nobody since, telling me that he is disappointed in me. Oh, all the years I have worked to gain my respect. He thinks I was an abusive teacher and won't even acknowledge me in the same room. Do you know what you have done to our family? I don't deserve to be ignored by my own son. I deserve my respect.
I mean, respecting you in itself is ironic, isn't it? How can one respect someone who harassed a child half their age? Moreover, it's not like I've lied about anything. Everything I said that day was truthful. You were indeed an abusive teacher, and you know it.
If it wasn't for me educating you, who knows what you would have become? Don't you realize my words and my discipline is what made you study and eventually become a lawyer? You should be thanking me.
I should be thanking you? Are you out of your mind?
Yes, I mean it. If it wasn't for me giving you that extra push, there is no way you would have fixed yourself up to study. I am your savior. Plus, you need a balance of verbal and physical discipline to get some sense into a kid like you. It's more ironic that you are treating me this way, when I should be respected and shown gratitude for everything I've done for you.
I don't believe this. You are insane, you know that?
I play a big part in your life, so do something about Dave, will you? He needs your help. He can't continue living like this. Moreover, if you marry Dave, I will act as your parent, so you can finally get the education you need. You will finally learn your manners, so people can accept you better. So just continue with the wedding. I swear I won't shame you for all your insecurities and horrible history.
You are mistaken. I do not want to marry your son, let alone live a tragic life acting as your daughter-in-law. So fix up your mess of a son yourself, will you?
You parasite. You think you're something now that you got some fancy job? You are still a leech in this society. You know that?
I should let you know that everything you are saying is being recorded on my phone. I will be suing you for defamation at the workplace. You realize these are my colleagues in this lobby right now. With your thunderous voice, everyone's heard what you had to say. Furthermore, we will have security camera footage as evidence. This should be an easy process with so much evidence. So you just wait, sir. Moreover, I have plenty of proof of your son's stalking habits, and unfortunately, I have been feeling threatened and unsafe due to his dangerous behavior. Should we process his case in parallel with yours? That would be convenient, wouldn't it?
What did you just say? You don't mean that.
Well then, I guess I will see you in court, or somewhere with a third person to alleviate your aggravation. I do not wish to be further involved with you. So look forward to seeing you wherever this takes us, because it will be the last time I will be seeing you. Being a lawyer and knowing the law was helpful for me to make the case. I incorporated all my professional knowledge to build a robust case to bring the Lowe family down. Though I could not provide evidence on the abuse I received as a child, there was plenty of proof of their current wrongdoings for me to proceed with their case. The abusive defamation of Richard and the stalking habits of Dave. The family was counting down the days till their absolute hell. When I began filing the case, Richard must have sensed that things were going to get beyond complicated for their family and began to contact me with an apology. He wasn't like the unstoppable demon that I had met in school, but now an old lion, begging for his life. He was weak, vulnerable, and simply a sad man. This made me have mixed feelings about the situation. It wasn't pity for the old man, but more a sense of loss and emptiness. I had won, but it wasn't a sweet victory. I had both Dave and Richard sign a memo to say that neither of them would approach me, otherwise I would file a restraining order against them. And instead of taking them to court, I had them pay me a settlement sum to conclude this episode. However, just when I thought it was over and my life was back to normal,
this story took an unexpected turn.
Honey, have you heard?
What are you talking about, Rose?
You know the scumbag I matched you with, my dear Amy. Haven't you heard? I hear their family is in utter chaos right now. It sounds like an absolute disaster.
No, I have not heard. What are you talking about, Rose?
I heard that Dave's father is the horrid teacher who harassed you in middle school. When I heard, I felt horrible for bringing such a terrible family back into your life. So I told others in town about it, so they know you two breaking up had nothing to do with you. You know, so they know whose fault it was. And soon everyone heard about it in town, so there wasn't a single mouse that didn't know what a terrible man that Richard was. So apparently the news got into his school, his workplace. Everyone was talking about it.
I mean, surely, yes. Our town isn't that big. I understand words can spread really fast, especially when it's juicy gossip and drama.
Well, that wasn't the end of it. There was more to the drama. It happens that they discovered that Dave was no different from his father. He was just as bad of a teacher.
Just as bad? That's insane. How do you mean? What did he do to his students?
It's such a mess of a story. I feel flustered even just talking about it. He wasn't abusive in that manner or anything, but sounds like he sexually harassed his students. It's disgusting, that pervert.
Sexually harass? Didn't he teach elementary school students? They are literally children!
Exactly. He did some terrible things to children. How nauseating. They are some 8, 9 years old. I hear he never touched them physically or anything, but apparently he would often say and behave in an inappropriate way. When they had a group photo taken, he would comment things like, "So-and-so is sexy in this picture," and call some of the girls hot and tell them that their boyfriends are so lucky.
Sexy? To a child? That pervert! Actually, he used to tell me he taught first graders, so they must be 5-year-old children. He talked a lot about how cute they are, but how can a normal human being refer to a 5-year-old as hot and sexy?
I heard the latest scandal was that he got his students to hand wash their underwear as their school homework. I can't believe I am saying this out loud. What an atrocious man. He told them it would help them to build their independence. Some dumb excuse like that. Isn't it crazy? So he told the kids, wash your underpants so you can be independent, and take a photo as proof and submit it. What a sick-minded pervert. Those poor kids. And when they submitted the photos, he made comments to say, so-and-so's pink panties are pretty and so-and-so's white panties are cute. I almost threw up hearing about this. Fortunately, some of the kids told their parents about this, so the wider school and parents found out. It's a lawsuit now, I hear. It wasn't just the parents, but the Ministry of Education and the board that sued him. Thankfully, they are not taking this lightly. So the Lows are done. They have more than enough evidence, sickeningly. So there is no way they can escape this. His title is getting ripped off him and will be banned from ever stepping foot back into teaching. Rightfully so.
My goodness! Both the son and father belong behind bars. I can't believe there are people as sick as this. How could you bring such a man into our dear Amy's life, Rose? I knew you were being too nosy when you were going around doing your matchmaking.
I had no idea either. How would I have known that he's a sick pervert in the shadows? I just assumed that he would be sensible since he is a teacher. You know, with a stable job and income, and a knack for dealing with kids.
I am telling you, you need to stop with your matchmaking. You obviously didn't do your due diligence to believe that he was a good man from a good family.
I said I am sorry. How much more could I apologize?
Stop it now, you two. It's all behind us. We don't need to stress over it anymore. Actually, I am glad to hear that they have been plunged into hell themselves, as they deserve. I have nothing to do with them, and I'm happy to hear that they have been punished. I would have not been able to get my revenge if they hadn't re-entered my life.
You're a disgrace. How could you, Dave? How sick do you have to be to think such a way about a child? I can't believe you have been calling yourself a teacher all this time. You're unbelievable.
Speak for yourself, Dad. Don't you feel any guilt? You physically abused and cursed at your students. You're insane. Moreover, you treated kids differently depending on their family background. I thought you said honesty and fairness was your biggest virtue. I hear it wasn't just Amy that you harassed in such a way. There are loads of other students you mistreated. You realize if you did what you did in this day and age, there is no way you would have gotten away with it. Word spread so much faster with the internet and children's phones. You are no better than me, Dad. In fact, I would say you did much worse than me. Do you know how embarrassed I was to find out you were, in fact, not a great teacher at all?
You should be embarrassed of yourself. You are much more sick to be thinking about elementary school children in such a way. They are barely out of their toddler phase. You are an animal. You know that? I can't believe I raised a sick, perverted son. You disgust me.
You have no right to talk to me like that, Dad. I keep telling you, you are no better than me in any way. I simply told my students that they were pretty, because they were pretty and I adore them, okay?
You told them they were pretty. That's it. Okay, then what about asking for pictures of their underwear and calling them sexy? So all of that came from simple adoration, am I right? Listen to yourself, son. You're crazy.
I mean, I can explain.
We could have ended this scene by just paying that Amy the settlement money. Now you have complicated it further by your sick behavior. Do you realize the whole town is talking about us? I have slaved away teaching in this town for decades. But now that everyone knows and is talking about the crazy Lowe family, I can barely step foot outside without getting a hateful stare. I thought I would enjoy my retirement in peace, with everyone respecting me and my career. But now I need to live hidden away in shame.
Why do you need to blame that on me? You need to blame it on yourself and your past faults.
You still don't understand what you did wrong, do you? All of this could have been hidden if it wasn't for you.
I don't care. Whatever. I am unemployed and can't get back to working now that I have been banned in the ministry. Why should I care about your sad little story?
You're worried about your unemployment? Is that honestly your biggest concern? There is not a single person in this state that doesn't know about you. You have been all over the news. Don't you realize you won't be able to get past this shame without moving to another state or even another country?
You know what they say, like father, like son. It was indeed the perfect phrase for the Lowes. They were so similar in the paths they chose to take in life. The way they treated those that are weak so terribly while taking no accountability and blaming their actions on others. In retrospect, the abusive Mr. Lowe may have been slightly better than his son, on a scale of who is more terrible, as the son was simply an animal that preyed on young children. After hearing about his behavior at the school, I was left grateful realizing that I may have escaped from hell. Once again, I do not want to imagine what would have happened if I had married Dave, and what would have happened if we had a daughter that he so dearly wished for. I like to think that my Father up in heaven stepped in to make sure that I wouldn't make the mistake of getting into a marriage that would make my life miserable. That concludes today's story. If you found it entertaining, please subscribe and like it. See you next time!